Hare Krishna. So today we are having a special session on glimpse of the Bhagavad-gita. Normally we have a big program, we invite everyone, we put the message in the group. But this is for people who are reading Bhagavad-gita or who are a little more serious into philosophy, into Iskcon. So it was very few people we called. Okay, this presentation is not about Bhagavad-gita's contents, detail now, just about Bhagavad-gita in general. So what we know about Bhagavad-gita, Bhagavad-gita comes in Mahabharata, isn't it? It comes in Shanti Parva. Mahabharata has many parts, parvas. It comes in Mahabharata, but Bhagavad-gita is not part of Mahabharata. If anyone read Mahabharata, you know what is the theme, or you can have understanding what it's about. But Bhagavad-gita is something that will be quite different. Mahabharata is known as Itihas. It's written as a history of some events that happened in Bharat and the whole world. So that is Itihas. Even the theme, the topics, the way of writing the shlokas is totally different. Bhagavad-gita is not Itihas. Bhagavad-gita is Upanishad. It's known as a Upanishad text. See, we can see from the way when you're reading Mahabharata, the shlokas, it's written in a long way, like a poetic in a Mahabharata. But when it comes to Bhagavad-gita, immediately the shlokas change. It comes written in Upanishadic style. How is that? It's written in short ways, in a short form, very deep shlokas, in a short form. And each sentence, each word is very deep. It carries deep meaning. So that is Upanishad. So in this way we see actually Gita is not really part of Mahabharata in that way. The whole point of writing Mahabharata was to impart Vedic knowledge to those who could not understand Shruti. Shruti is the four main Vedas, Rig, Sama, Yajur and Atharva. Four Vedas, but this is known as Shruti, the original four Vedas. But to understand that is not easy. To understand Shruti, one has to have studied Sanskrit on a very high level. That we understand that you have to study Sanskrit at least 12 years to understand the Shruti properly. It's different compared to the Puranas. The Sanskrit is different. And even the theme, the topics are you need to have sharp intelligence. And therefore, people lived a sattvic life, those who studied. And they lived not only sattvic life, like their food habits, whole lifestyle to inculcate sattva gun, because you cannot have that brain and the presence of mind to understand Shruti. So Vyas, after writing the Shruti, he wrote the other part. He wrote Mahabharata. Now it's mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam that he wrote out of compassion for those who could not understand the Vedas, he wrote Mahabharata. So this shloka comes in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 4, Text 25. Stri Shada Duja Bandhunam Traina Shruti Gochara Karma Shreyasi Mudhanam Shreya Evam Bhavediha Iti Bharatam Akhyanam Kripaya Munina Kritam. Out of compassion, the great sage thought it wise that this would enable men to achieve the ultimate goal of life. Thus he compiled the great historical narration called Mahabharata for the women, laborers and friends of the twice born. So Mahabharata is known as fifth Veda, Panchama Veda. Some people don't accept. They say Vedas are only the four Vedas. But actually any text which is having the conclusion of Veda to help someone surrender to Krishna and to become purified, that is Veda. It did not just come as Shruti, but it came as Purana, Smriti, Mahabharata, Ramayana. This is all Veda. So Bhagavad-gita comes there. But you see, if you tell people are not into philosophy. If you tell them, come and understand goal of life, we want to enjoy it. We want to read something fun, you know. So he wrote the whole Mahabharata epic. It's so interesting. Huh? Everyone likes to discuss and speak about so many things. How Arjun fought, how Arjun went to the heavenly planets, and then Bhishma Dev, and the Vanvas of Pandavas. It's so interesting. So everyone reads that, and then he tricks them that you read about the goal of life in the middle. This was the whole point of Mahabharata. Acharyas tell us that these books were written because people in general are not intelligent, not inclined to self-realization. But if he compiles it, it's like putting the sugar, the medicine in the middle of the sugar for the children who don't want to eat the medicine. You put in some sugar. You want to have some sweet? Okay, have some sweet. And they take the medicine. So, Mahabharata, it said, has two great jewels. Our acharyas, out of them is Bhaktivinoda Thakur. From the left side, the fourth one. Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote many literatures, deeply philosophical, spiritual literatures. He was fully self-realized. And so he said this, that there are two great jewels in Mahabharata. He says, I'm reading now, one of his own works, exactly. If the sages put all Vedic literature on one side of the weighing scale and Sri Mahabharata on the other side, Mahabharata will be heavier. We can therefore understand that the Aryans find no book as worshipable as Mahabharata. Two precious jewels are within Mahabharata. One of them is Srimad Bhagavad-gita. The other is? Who knows? Vishnu Sahasranam, correct. Two great jewels. One is Bhagavad-gita, other is Vishnu Sahasranam. If the acharyas of the authorized sampradayas cannot support their doctrine from these two books, they cannot establish their sampradaya as authentic. So if someone says this is our sampradaya, this is our philosophy, but they cannot explain it through Bhagavad-gita, then it's not accepted. Vishnu Sahasranam and Bhagavad-gita. In the line instructed by Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Baladev Bhushan Prabhu is the Vedanta Acharya. Therefore, I am publishing his commentary on Vishnu Sahasranam. This comment was an answer to why he published Vishnu Sahasranam. But here he's saying that Bhagavad-gita is a jewel of Mahabharata, one of the two great jewels. Why is Bhagavad-gita compared to a jewel? One is because Bhagavad-gita, even though it's small like that, it contains complete knowledge for liberation. It is complete. Who's saying? Krishna himself says in chapter 7, text 2. Krishna says that yad gyatva neha bhuyanyaj gyatavam avashishyate. Nothing is remaining for you to know if you read Bhagavad-gita. It's complete. You can get liberation. Even Srila Prabhupada said, this one book, if you read and study and understand, you will not take birth again. It will destroy our illusion. We can come on a spiritual level. Krishna himself says it. I don't think any other scripture says that. I personally know that within the Bible, there's a different book. So in Bible, there's a book of John. Book of John has many parts. So book of John, subpart 16, text 12. John 16:12, it's written. Jesus is speaking because John was a disciple of Jesus. So he wrote what Jesus told him. This is what he told me. So in his writing, he says, Jesus said, many things I have to tell you, but you cannot bear them now. I have to tell you many things, you people cannot understand them. It means it's not complete. It's not complete knowledge. So, and other scriptures also, they're not saying this. I don't have so much knowledge about other scriptures to speak. But here where Gita is saying this is complete, I don't think anyone can point this out in any other scripture that this is perfect. So it is, Bhagavad-gita is a jewel. Why? It's targeted towards liberation. We can get so many benefits from other scriptures. If we do this yajna, that, we can get wealth, we can get fame, all this. But what will Bhagavad-gita give you? It will give you Goloka, it will give you Vaikuntha. It will give you the spiritual world. What more you want? I want money, I want fame. Actually, if we get out of here and go to Vaikuntha, we'll have such a great treasure we can't imagine. No more birth, death, disease, old age. No need for money, fame, anything. So Bhagavad-gita targets liberation. 100%. There's no other aim. Other shastras, they will also increase material benefits. But that means we have to stay in this world to enjoy the benefit. But that shastra which takes us out, that is Bhagavad-gita. It's known as Bhagavad Dharma. Very small part of the Vedas speak on this topic. So Bhagavad-gita also, it awakens The bhakti. Bhakti something is a very great commodity. Once we have information from our acharyas that one great devotee of Lord Shiva, he was praying to Lord Shiva that you please give me the greatest wealth. So he told him, you want the greatest wealth, go to Vrindavan. There is someone called Sanatana Goswami. You go to him, he will give you this wealth. So Sanatana Goswami is one of our Shad Goswami on the right side, 6 personalities wearing white. He was a renunciate, Tyagi. He was living on the bank of Yamuna in Vrindavan. So this person went to him and said that, can you give me the best, highest wealth in this world? He said, yes, you can take that Chintamani gem. It was in the rubbish. He picked it up, and this thing, whatever you touch, will give gold. So he was happy, he went away. Then after some time he came back. If this is the greatest wealth, why did you throw it in the dustbin? I want the greatest wealth, what is it? He said, okay. Now go in the river and shave, and I'll give you diksha into bhakti. So that was the highest. What Lord Shiva had sent him to Sanatana Goswami for. So how do you get bhakti? It's very rare. You cannot, or practically we say it's very hard. You cannot get it. But Bhagavad-gita will give you bhakti if we properly study and understand it. Therefore, Bhagavad-gita is very dear to the Vaishnavas as a text. For who? For the beginning, medium, and advanced Vaishnav. Everyone relishes Gita, because Gita is transcendental. Even if I'm completely new, I want to elevate. I read Bhagavad-gita, I'll get benefit. Now, supposing I read Gita advanced, now I'm advanced. I'll read Gita and I'll still really relish. Swad will be there, ruchi, taste. Why? Because I'm reading about God, He's describing Himself. And supposing I get liberation, highest level, still I'll relish Bhagavad-gita. Because this is not a normal book, like you have physics for class 3, then physics for class 6, class 12, PUC, advanced level. The books, the knowledge is different. Spiritual knowledge is not like that. The same shloka everyone will read and get different meaning. So this is a jewel. Bhagavad Gita is described as an Upanishad. How is that? It's coming in Mahabharata. Mahabharata, we know what this speaks about. Upanishads are supposed to be the highest part of the Vedas. 4 Vedas I mentioned are each divided into 4. Samhita, Brahmana, Aranyak, and Upanishad. They are meant for brahmacharis, grihasthas, vanaprasthas, and sannyasis. Each of the Vedas. So Upanishads are supposed to be the essence of the highest Vedic knowledge. We cannot even read it. We cannot understand it. It's meant to be read with the Guru. It speaks on highest topics. But here Bhagavad Gita is being called an Upanishad. How is it? This Gita that our grandmother is keeping at home reading. How is that? That's because the theme, the topic, and level of discourse of Bhagavad Gita, if you read the topics they're discussing, this is on the level of Upanishad, even if it's in Mahabharata. Highest level text, discussing birth, death, how to become free from illusion, and understanding how to leave the body in the 8th chapter. How you can, that the mystics, they leave their body, they die at their will, which is auspicious time to die, so you don't come back. And how, what is the nature of a devotee in chapter 12, it explains. And Krishna answers in 1-2 verses deep questions which people are seeking answers. Is God personal or impersonal? He says clearly. And which is the better one to pursue? Actually, Krishna has an impersonal and personal form. But he says that it's better to worship me in my personal form. Chapter 12. As a personality, that is my highest form. Bhagavan. And Brahman is that all-pervading energy of God. But he says, Klesho adhikatarastesham avyakta sakta chetasam. Those who worship the impersonal, it's very difficult for them. Now if I tell you right now, think about the impersonal. What will you think? You can't think. If you say, think about Krishna, and if you're a personalist, immediately Dalayataksham, his eyes are like lotus petals. That Venum Kwanantam, he's playing the Venu. Barhapidam, he has a peacock feather. So many things we can think of. And it's all spiritual, transcendental. People sometimes criticize, why you're making form of God? We are not making. It's written in detail in our Shastra. Nobody knows how God looks. Yeah, you don't know. We know. We know. So we are making his image. So we are painting according to Shastra. We know. Vedas is very high path. Vedas. They reveal everything about God and about his dham and about how to go. This is very high level. So Bhagavad-gita is on level of Upanishads. You will find 90% of verses of Gita in Upanishads. Almost word for word. Most from Katha Upanishad, Mundak Upanishad, which are supposed to be very high level Upanishads. In fact, Srila Prabhupada, when he's beginning his introduction to his commentary of Bhagavad-gita, the opening line, he says, Bhagavad-gita is also known as Gita Upanishad. It is the essence of Vedic knowledge and the most important Upanishad in Vedic literature. Now, Upanishads we said are very high, not easy to understand, but Bhagavad-gita is higher than that. You see what a great thing Vyasa there has done. He's given the highest Upanishad knowledge which we cannot understand, even that language we can't understand. He is given that in Bhagavad-gita 700 verses which even small boy can read and understand. How did he do that? That is inconceivable. That is Vishala Buddhi. Vyasa's great intellect. That he could present the most complex thing. And the acharyas like Prabhupada, who then put out commentaries that even people from America, Russia, who never heard who is Gita, Krishna or Gita, they're reading and getting Gyan. This is all some great mercy and compassion. Actually, we're talking about them, but even we don't know anything nowadays. In India, we don't have that background like before. Therefore, we'll read books like that. Even we don't have any background, we can get benefit. So Prabhupada says in the opening that Gita is known as Gita Upanishad. Another name for Bhagavad-gita, Gita Upanishad. He said it's the highest Upanishad. So this is Gita, Upanishad, not Itihas. Not in Mahabharata, but not part of Mahabharata as such, in that way. So Bhagavad-gita is actually, it says here, essence of Vedic knowledge, Prabhupada says. The opening, you see that one, normally when you have a introduction, what is introduction for in a book? Who knows? What is the purpose of the introduction? Introduction, if you have any book, whether it's a college book, a novel or anything, it's supposed to give a synopsis of the content of the book. That means, Sankship, there's some quick description of what is going to come in the book. So if someone reads, they'll understand. Before that is preface. Preface of our Prabhupada's Gita is also very deep, but preface gives the reason why the book was written. What is the need for the book? That also Prabhupada has given a mission statement of the Krishna conscious movement, practically in that preface. And in the introduction, he's given a summary of the Gita. Complete Gita, it's almost equal to that other text. It's so great. It's in 30 pages. It covers everything. In fact, it's so great. Iskcon published it. It's a separate book. It's still there. In Kumbh Mela, they were giving it free. Everyone who takes prasadam, someone sponsored. So essence of Gita, essence of the Veda is in Bhagavad-gita. Important point. We cannot read the Vedas. We will not understand it. We cannot find the Vedas also. Forget about it. You want to read it. So, don't worry. Read Bhagavad-gita and get the essence of the knowledge. What is essence? Essence means, like we say, ghee is the essence in milk. Milk has so many benefits. But it all comes in the ghee. If you take ghee, it's like you took 1 teaspoon of ghee. It's like maybe a few liters of milk. So, Bhagavad-gita is essence. What is the ultimate aim of the Vedas? Ultimate aim of Veda is that we have to go back, come out of this material world, out of the suffering, and return to Goloka, to Krishna, to Vaikuntha. If you're feeling cold, we can put off this. Just tell. I don't know what is, or it's up to you. Yeah. So the aim of the Vedas is to liberate us, to get liberation. So now, how to get that liberation? You have to study the Vedas, go to Gurukul, 12 years or 25 years, study, take Diksha, everything. But don't worry, if you read Bhagavad-gita, it will give you the same thing. This was not available in Dwapar Yuga. It came at the end of Dwapar Yuga. It's a great jewel. We cannot understand. Bhagavad-gita will give us the greatest treasures. And it's available to us now through the parampara. It will take us out of illusion and out of this basically Maya sense. Right now we are in illusion. We think I am the body. We think that this is reality, what we are seeing around us. But it's not. This is illusion. Bhagavad-gita is telling us. Our knowledge has been covered. In chapter 3 it says how that is done. So now we don't have knowledge who we are. We don't have knowledge who is God or what is going on in this world. We made some reality of our own, thinking that this is what's going on. But if this is reality, then why don't we want it? Reality means something natural, which is the true thing, everyone is happy with it. But nobody likes it. That means this is not our natural state, living like this. This illusion and knowledge that we are lacking, by proper process we can get back this knowledge through Bhagavad-gita. The purification process, this is a science. This is a science that has to be learned from Bhagavad-gita under guidance of a representative, a proper representative of Krishna or representative of his representative. It's something to be learned. Therefore, people studied elaborately how to get knowledge and purification, sadhana in the past. And Srila Prabhupada has done a great thing because he is coming in a bona fide chain from Krishna. But he has given all this system of purification and knowledge within this Krishna consciousness movement. Prabhupada writes in Bhagavad-gita that this Krishna conscious movement, Iskcon, is conducted under the guidance of Bhagavad-gita. It's based on Bhagavad-gita. So the Gita itself tells us how to receive this knowledge. How do you receive the knowledge? In parampara, in sampradaya. Therefore, the person speaking about Gita, he must be coming in Guru Parampara from Krishna. Krishna says this in Gita. Not anybody can speak on Gita. Not anyone can write a commentary. So many have written. But as Prabhupada said, so many Gitas went to America before. Nothing happened. But as soon as this Gita went in Parampara, this proper version, explosion, so many devotees have come and so much bhakti has come in Russia, in America, all over the world. It's important which Gita we read because you have to follow the instruction. Parampara, sampradaya. Evam parampara praptam imam rajarshayo vidu. Krishna says that this Gita was received in parampara. And the Rajrishis understood it that way. Evam rajarshayo viduhu. So in the modern age, we can say the most widely read Gita is Iskcon's Gita. It is most widely known, and the scholar Prabhupada in the modern age, at least many universities, if you look at the reviews, they accept now as the modern age as one of the greatest Sanskrit scholars and Vedic scholars. Because in compiling, he compiled 70 books in 11 years. Very elaborately, no error. And at the same time, he opened 108 centers all over the world. At the same time, he gave Diksha to 5,000. Most of them not from India. But they became scholars, they got learned, and they also now entered into the Sampradaya, and the Sampradaya has gone all over the world. It is propagating Gita Gyan all over the world. So, Srila Prabhupada, he is in direct Sampradaya from Krishna. His commentary on Gita is most widely read. So many times in France, America, when they study a Gita, they study Prabhupada's. It's not the only one. There are other bona fide ones. There's so many. Because it has to come in a Vaishnava Sampradaya, in a link from Krishna, and there are so many. But most widely read is this. Because it's in another reason, it's in 70 languages. That's one reason. So many people were able to come to Gyan, knowledge, detachment, and proper spiritual understanding by Srila Prabhupada's commentary, purports, the explanation of the verses and commentaries. So now let's look at how Srila Prabhupada starts his commentary on Bhagavad-gita. If such a great book as Bhagavad-gita, which can give such a great benefit, and a scholar like Prabhupada, who is coming in parampara himself, and who one person went and created a revolution which till today is expanding like anything all over the world. We want to know how he opens his commentary on Bhagavad-gita. What is the first sentence? He says, in Bhagavad-gita chapter 1, text 1, Prabhupada says, Bhagavad-gita is the widely read theistic science summarized in the Gita Mahatmya. This is his opening line. Okay. Now this is very interesting. Prabhupada is not saying Bhagavad-gita is holy book of India, of Hindus, like that. In fact, this word Hindu doesn't come in Gita. Gita is not on platform of body or religion or culture. Gita is on a spiritual level. Spiritual level means all of us here are Atma. We are souls. We are not even Indian, Hindu, or African, European. This is a text on a different level, completely different level. We are coming now on a spiritual level. We are not seeing the body at all. So Prabhupada says, Prabhupada is not presenting Gita as a mundane religious text. Of course it's religious, definitely, it's about God, but not in that widely understood sectarian way. Like people are saying, I'll convert to this religion, convert to that, from Hindu convert to Muslim, Muslim to Christian. This is based on faith. But there's another deeper understanding of religion, that is dharma. What is dharma? So Bhagavad-gita speaks about dharma, and not only the dharma of body, but sanatan dharma. Sanatan dharma means eternal duty. As soon as you talk about eternal, we are not talking about body, we are talking about soul. Soul is eternal. This body will die. Now my dharma is something. Dharma as maybe as a brahmachari, or dharma as son. Then late after 10 years, dharma as different, maybe as a brother, or uncle, whatever. But Sanatan Dharma does not change. That is Atma. We all have an eternal duty to serve God, which will never change in any circumstance. Gita is speaking about that. Bhagavad Gita is presenting God, but not in a belief or blind way. You have to believe this, or you'll burn in hell for eternity. It's not like that. It's not blind faith. It's presenting God in a scientific way, a scientific system, not a belief or blind faith system. If we see Gita as a religious text, we can get benefit. But if we see it as what Prabhupada says, widely read theistic science, we'll get a much deeper benefit, because we have to then come on a spiritual level to understand. Gita is about Atma. I'm Atma. We are all Atma. So Gita is referring to the Atma now. How this Atma is trapped in the body and can come out and stop the cycle of birth and death. Then we'll get a deeper understanding. Philosophical. It presents philosophy through reason and logic. For example, reincarnation, the first text explained is in Bhagavad-gita 2.13. Famous verse, one of the most quoted verses of Prabhupada. He's establishing the principle of reincarnation. How? I'm just paraphrasing. There Krishna says, just like in this life, we have a small body, medium body, then a big body, an old body. Bodies are changing, but I'm the same person. So I'm changing bodies. So at death, I change another body. How is that possible? How can you take another body when you die? Already I explained that in this one life, we took so many bodies. 10-year-old body, 20-year-old, they're all different, they're not the same body. So at death, I take another body. Dhiras tata na mohyati, one who is really intelligent and sober, buddhiman, he is not confused by this concept. So in this way, reincarnation, I'm giving one example. How Krishna, through Bhagavad-gita, through logic and reason, is presenting knowledge of Bhagavad-gita. So we don't just accept reincarnation because so I'm Hindu, we accept it, so I'll take it. No, it's reason and logic. It is a normal thing to accept it through, after we explain the principle, you have to accept it. So therefore it's mentioned, Gita is a theistic science. There's a proper study and discourse, a presentation of absolute truth. Param Satyam What is the Param Satyam? What is the highest truth? This is given in Bhagavad-gita, presented through scientific method. Widely read theistic science. But what is science? We'll pick something everyone agree with. Wikipedia. You know, I can say this dictionary, that dictionary. And then Wikipedia will quote some dictionary or some authoritative thing. If it's wrong, someone will write and say this is wrong. So Wikipedia says, science is a systematic discipline that builds and organizes knowledge in the form of testable hypotheses and predictions about the universe. Very high, very complicated words. And systematic discipline builds and organizes knowledge in the form of testable hypotheses and predictions. So Bhagavad-gita presents basic concepts, then gradually goes to deeper concepts and systems of the universe. It starts with birth, death. You have to adjust now. If it's hot, you put on I don't know. You're all okay? It's hot? Cold? All right. You see how you're feeling. Okay, so Bhagavad-gita initially introduces terms, karma, Atma, understand what is Atma in chapter 2, elaborate description. Okay, then yoga systems. Then gradually it goes to higher principles. In chapter 13 talks about how Atma is sitting in the body. There's also Paramatma there, and how it's functioning, how the body is made up of different elements, but it's simply a tool to be used by the Atma. And how Paramatma is administering everything we do, that we want something. It says that Upadishtanumantevacha Bhakta Bhurta Bhokta Maheshwara. Paramatma is here, Krishna in the form of Paramatma. Upadrishta means he's overseeing everything we do. Upadrishta Anumanta, he's giving the permission. I want to run up the stairs, okay. Or I want to run up the stairs, no, you cannot do now. I'm not giving the permission, you don't have that karma now to do that. Now I get pain, I cannot do it. Permission of the Paramatma will let us be able to do anything in this body. We are not the final master. Anumanta, Bharta, Bhokta, he is the supreme master. Bharta, Bhokta, he is enjoyer of the body, senses. Maheshwara, and supreme controller. So in this way, Bhagavad-gita goes from basic, goes to higher principles as science is. Whatever principles we build, gradually it's taken to higher level. Okay, this means presenting God. When we say we are presenting systems in this universe, in other words, we are presenting God because He is holding everything together, isn't it? If we are saying, we're going to say how this world is functioning, how it is created, how it's destroyed, and what is the constituents. Actually, everything is Krishna. Everything. There's someone called Michio Kaku. Who heard of him? No. Michio Kaku. He is one of the greatest scientists, no, I won't say great, most popular scientists in modern world today. He is from Japan. He's written books on physics which are sold all over. It's like coming in news, very common, often he comes. And he wrote a book which is very famous. It's called The God Equation. What is he saying? Basically, this book is, he says, a search for a theory of everything. Theory of everything. Then, you know, the blurb. Blurb means when you get a book, you read the back, it gives you what the book is about, short. Now, what is that written? It's a long part. I took out one part. Michio Kaku is saying, Einstein dedicated his life to seeking this elusive holy grail, a single revolutionary God equation which would tie all forces in the universe together. There are different laws, different forces and energies. Now, he's saying Einstein, he dedicated his life to finding that unifying factor. Yet he never found it. Some of the greatest minds in physics took up the search, from Stephen Hawking to Brian Greene, etc. None have succeeded. Anyway, it's a long thing where he says, he discusses that, and he doesn't say whether he'll give it or not. But so thank you, Michio Kaku, for your great effort for this concept, to look for this unifying factor. But it's done, it's already done. Who knows that book? Have you heard of that other book which has already dealt with this concept? No, begins with B. Huh? Correct, he got it. It's done, it's already done. What is the unifying factor? It's God, Krishna. He says, Maya tatamidam sarvam. I am pervading the whole world, the whole creation. Jagat avyakta murtina. In my unmanifested form, I pervade everything. Krishna is here, here. This mosquito, he's in there. He's in this oxygen particle. He's in the phone. He's everywhere. It's already done. Bhagavad-gita is already discussing that. Let him read it. I hope he'll read it. Otherwise, he'll keep searching. Krishna is source of everything. He says, Aham sarvasya prabhavo. Everything came out of me. We are seeing everything. Where did it come? Krishna said it came from me. In the beginning there was nothing. Only me. From me everything came out. Now I'm talking. This is called Shabda. Bhagavad-gita says, Krishna says, Shabda Khe. Khe means Akash, the ether, space. In sound, in space, ether, sound is traveling. Krishna says, that is me. Shabda Khe. In the space, now you're hearing me because sound energy is traveling and entered your ear. So this vibration, Krishna says in Gita, this is me. I am sound. I transform into sound. Otherwise, how is it happening? Then he says, Prabha asmi shashi surya yo. I am the son of the light and the moon. Son of light and moon is Krishna. He transforms into that energy. And he says, Rasoham apsukonde. I am the taste of water. When you taste water, pure water, it has a good taste, very attractive. Krishna said, that's me. Punya ganna prithvyamcha. And in the earth, with pure soil, which is not with now pollution everywhere, but if you get a chance to go out of the city and it rains and you smell, that is very nice smell of soil. And so Krishna says, this is me, everything is me. In one part, he says in the Vedas, Sarvam Kal Vidam Brahm. Actually, everything is Krishna. Of course, personally, he's a person, but he expanded into everything. Now scientists are searching, what is the principle unifying everything? It's God. How is that so? It's in Gita, it's given. In chapter 7, chapter 9, it's given. So, why is it that we are saying Gita gives theistic science only, science of God? Why? Because if you know God, you know everything, because He is everything. If we understand God, Krishna, then we understand everything. Who says this?
God says.
Krishna himself says, chapter 15, text 19 of Gita, Krishna says, Yomam evam asamudha janati purushottama sasarvavit. One who understands, I am Purushottam, the master, the supreme personality, sasarvavit. He knows everything. All knowledge will come to him. That's why Prabhupada, when he established Gurukul, he said, we'll only teach about God. And when they understand science of God in Bhagavad-gita, Bhagavatam, knowledge of everything will come, science, geography, everything will come. This is not some sentiment of, strange concept, abstract concept. It's actually a fact. Srimad Bhagavatam, which goes deeper into science of Gita, that describes about God in detail. If you understand, you will understand everything. So that was presented. That's why Gita is teaching science of God. Widely read theistic science, Prabhupada writes. That first sentence in Bhagavad-gita. Why? Because that's all we need to know. This is the knowledge we need. We need to know about God. When you know about God, then we'll know who we are. When we say, we'll become self-realized, to know the self. How? You know God. If you know God, you'll know yourself. We are ansh of God, particle. So, Krishna, God, is the active principle in everything. Light, sound, all these. One verse in Gita saying, everything in the material world has 8 elements. They all come from me. Which are that? Bhumi, Rapo, Nala, Vayu, Kam, Mano, Buddhi, Evacha. Earth, water, fire, air, ether. Ether means like Akash, sky. Mana, mind, intelligence, and Ahankar. He said, everything in this whole creation is made of these 8 things, and they emanated from me. So therefore, if we understand Krishna, which Gita is aiming at, everything is known. Study of science of God includes everything: matter, spirit, energies, laws, living entities, time, everything. So Prabhupada also says, he says, widely read theistic science. Widely read theistic science. Read very widely among many people. It's read by people all over the world. It's read by intellectuals, poets. What was his name? Famous, who wrote that book? Anyway, you know, many Western poets, scientists, philosophers, even religious people, normal people, everyone's reading Bhagavad-gita. Prabhupada once said in a lecture in Mayapur, in 1974, he said there are 645 commentaries on Bhagavad-gita. That time he might have known and researched. Now who knows? There is no other book written like this, so many. Why is Bhagavad-gita so widely read? You see, it's being read by Christians, everyone. Even they wrote years ago, who was it? Darashiko, he translated Upanishads and Vedas. Bhagavad-gita also. That was, who was it? Aurangzeb's brother. Darashiko. Then he was killed for that. He translated Vedas and Bhagavad-gita into whatever language that was, Persian, Arabic they were speaking. So why is it everyone's reading Gita? It's widely read because it's non-sectarian. You see, I mentioned Bhagavad-gita is not on platform of body. You see, if you read a holy book, say like Bible, Quran, actually you can apply it if you're in that religion at that time, isn't it? It's meant for these people. I mean, it's very specific. You cannot say, I'm going to read it and get some, you can get some benefit, but actually you have to take up that way and everything and do, and that is for that. Okay, that is called in English, from the word sect, sectarian. It's meant for that sect, for that group. Okay, that is normally when we speak about any religious book or text. But Bhagavad-gita is not like that. We said now that Bhagavad-gita is non-sectarian. The knowledge and principles imparted are universal. They're applicable in all time and all space. There is no limit. This is an eternal knowledge. It's just, we are seeing it now, we're thinking, oh, Gita came 5,000 years ago. Or some don't accept that, 3,000, whatever, 1,000 years ago. We are thinking that. But Bhagavad-gita says itself, that this Bhagavad-gita was spoken previously in different times and different places. It was spoken on the sun planet. It's written in Bhagavad-gita. Krishna tells Arjuna, I spoke to Surya Bhagavan. And in Mahabharata, that date is given as 2 million years ago. 2 million? Yeah, 2 million. 2 million years. Huh? 12 crore, 1.2 million something. Yeah. Okay, so a great long time ago, Krishna spoke the knowledge to Surya Bhagavan. Now, how is it the knowledge we're getting is applicable to him also? Because this is not a specific thing. These are universal, eternal, fundamental principles about spirit, matter, interaction of both. It is not having limit. It is non-sectarian. Many personalities took benefit and came down generations, the same knowledge. In Bhagavad-gita, this knowledge given is described as avyayam. Avyayam in Sanskrit means imperishable. It can never go. It can never be destroyed. Transcendental knowledge can never be destroyed. It will never diminish or get lost. Because that is material knowledge. Something has beginning, has end, isn't it? Gita has no beginning. It's a subject of eternal personality. So, it is spiritual. When Krishna spoke Gita to Arjuna, the same power, potency is here now also. Prabhupada said that don't think Gita was spoken in Kurukshetra 5,000 years ago. Now here we are in Katpadi, in Tamil Nadu, in 2025. Now the potency is different. That was that time. Prabhupada said, no, it's not like that. You can have the same benefit as Arjuna if you have the same faith and surrender gradually. You can get purified as he did. Except we are different level of jiva. We have to read few times, not one time like him. So it's not a material thing like that. Spiritual means any time, place. And no change. Krishna said, Samaya eva te adhya yoga prokta puratana. Now today, Samaya eva te adhya today, yoga prokta, I'm speaking the same science of yoga, puratana, ancient. Not that I'm speaking a different thing. No, same thing. So, universal. It's perfect, complete, imperishable, and universal. Can be applied in all spaces, all times. We find after reading Bhagavad-gita, many people they understand their religion properly, or they get deeper principles and become fixed, whatever they're doing, or whatever some spiritual thing, path they're taking. Therefore, even within Sanatana Dharma, everyone reads Gita. There are so many different, apparently, actually it's one path with different levels. But we see many people practicing different things within Sanatana Dharma. But there's no difference, it's levels. And all of them read Gita, all of them get a benefit. Within Sanatana Dharma, even outside, we can understand that it's universal. It gives deep understanding of God through science of God. It is absolute truth, Param Satyam. This is what Gita speaks about. Most confidential and highest knowledge of God. Who says? Krishna himself says many times. Now I am giving you the highest knowledge. Guhyatamam guhyam. Even what is so rahasya, so secret and hidden, not easily available, this is the higher than that. Gita is most confidential. Idam te guhyatamam pravakshami. I am speaking the most hidden secret to you, this knowledge. So, that is true. Gita has a lot of benefits, but one thing is important. We have to know how to get this knowledge. We have to know. Only in the pure form it has potency. We should not think any Gita is Gita. I wish it was also, that you could get Gita anyway. But doesn't matter, anyone who takes a Gita and writes commentary and sells, you think, like, this is Gita. You know, it's not. He has to follow the rule. The rule is, the person commenting, he should have heard Gita in parampara from Krishna himself. Who is his guru? Asked him, the author. Who is his guru? His guru. It should come to Krishna. There's a system to follow. And the person should have understood the Gita properly. Because some people, they write commentary on Gita and they're saying God has no form. But that is not what Gita is saying. In chapter 4, text 6, Krishna says clearly that Ajosan api avyayatma bhutana vishwasan prakritam stam adhishthaya sambhavami atma mayaya. When I come in this world, I come in my own spiritual body. Not I don't take a body like this. But these people say, God, Krishna had a body like this, you see, blood and flesh, not like that. Then why shall you listen to him? Someone gives the opinion, that's your opinion. Why should we base our life on him? Me, because he's a perfect person. He's not like us. He's not in Maya. So we have to understand carefully. There are people called Mayavadis. They say that Krishna's body is material. We have to be careful of that. Impersonalists, that ultimately impersonal God. Again, this is contradicting Krishna. Now, if this person presents Gita, we get a wrong understanding. And like that, many Gitas are there, unfortunately. So, people didn't get benefit. They read Gita, I don't understand anything in this book, and just forget it. Whole life, they'll not read it. But now there are people born in America and countries where they didn't know what is Krishna. If you say Krishna, they'll think, what is it? A plant? What is it? They know, no clue. But they read Gita and got perfection. We can understand how powerful is this book, if presented in a proper way. So we have to understand that. Actually, we are very fortunate to get Gita now, because it gets lost from time to time. You know what Krishna says in Gita, that yogo nashta parantapa, that this knowledge was given. He says, Imam Rajashrividu, how does it start? Evam paramprapatam imam Rajashrividu, sakalena mahata yoga nashta parantapa. That knowledge came in parampara, but after a long time, sakaleneha mahata yogo nashta, the knowledge became lost. Therefore, Krishna said, I came to give the knowledge again. So thank God we took birth in a time when we are able to access the science of God in complete form through Guru Parampara, by which we can get perfection, like Arjun. Now, we are still looking at this first sentence of Prabhupada. What did he say? Bhagavad-gita is the widely read theistic science summarized in the Gita Mahatmya. He speaks about Gita Mahatmya. You know what is Gita Mahatmya? You might have heard these verses. Sarvo Upanishadi Gavo Dogda Gopal Nandana. Okay, nowadays no, but it's gradually, unfortunately, going from society. But these are verses everyone knew previously. The Shankaracharya had written some glorification of Bhagavad Gita, which was very prominent. In Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita introduction, at the end he gives it. There, he writes, the glorification of Bhagavad Gita. Oh, just can you give my phone or something? I want to just get that Gita Mahatmya. Is this it? My phone? Yeah, there. Okay, so in the Gita Mahatmya, Krishna speaks about Adi Shankara glorifies Bhagavad Gita. So, first one, Gitam Shastam Idam Punyam Yaf Patet Prayata Puman Vishnu Padam Avapnoti Bhaya Shokadi Varjita. He says that by studying Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavad Gita is such a Shastra, Gitam Shastam Idam Punyam Yaf Patet Prayata Puman Vishnu Padam Avapnoti. By studying Bhagavad Gita, we can go to Vishnu Pad, we can go to Vishnu's abode. Can you imagine? Just by reading and studying a text, we can change our consciousness and go back. And he says, Bhaya Shokadi Varjita. You know this anxiety and people feel? Bhaya, fear, anxiety. This is because of avidya. If we understand who we are, who is God, this will all go. So it says there, by studying Gita, Bhaya, Shok, Adi, Varjita. Lamentation, fear, anxiety, illusion, all of this is destroyed. Yeah. All of this is destroyed by reading Bhagavad Gita. Of course, we don't read for that. We read to understand God. But you know, so many benefits. Mala nirmochanam pumsam, jalasnanam dine dine. Sakrit gitamrita snanam, samsara mala nashanam. Every day we take bath in water to be clean. Mala nirmochanam pumsam, jalasnanam dine dine. Taking bath in water, we become clean. Sakrit gitamrita snanam, samsara mala nashanam. But once you read Bhagavad Gita very clearly, carefully, samsara mala nashanam, it destroys the material infection that we have. All illusion is gone. We become purified spiritually. So that's Gita Mahatmya, many verses. I won't go through all of them. Now, just we said we won't go to contents, but contents of Gita, let's look. Bhagavad Gita speaks on 5 main topics. These are like threads which come from the beginning to the end, and in different chapter, different knowledge is given about them. It speaks on Ishvara, Jiva, Kala, Karma, Prakriti. God, soul, time, action, karma, and nature, Prakriti. 5 topics are discussed. So now we are seeing contents of Gita, but really we cannot really quantify and we cannot define the contents of Gita, because Gita is spiritual. It has unlimited transcendental knowledge. We meet people who read Gita years and realize it. They are having deep knowledge, and that knowledge you will not find in the Gita. In other words, Gita has unlimited knowledge, just like you have this Akshay Patra in Mahabharata. You know, that's where it came from, that name. Draupadi had it, given by Durvasa Muni. It will produce food as much as they want. Akshay Patra. There is no limit. Similarly, Gita has no limit. You can't say this is Gita knowledge. This is what it has. Unlimited, there is no limit. It depends on you. What is your level of consciousness to take out that knowledge? Like Arjun heard Gita 1.5 hours, he got pure. We are not able to. We read again, we study, we hear, and slowly we get purified. So it depends on you. Otherwise, Gita is limited, unlimited knowledge. It's transcendental. That knowledge, it will come in the heart. It will manifest in the heart. That transcendental knowledge, proper understanding of God and who we are, etc. It looks like a book. Now when you say Gita is a book, actually Gita is not a book. It's a book now, but when Krishna spoke, it was not a book. What is it? Gita is Krishna. It's avatar of Krishna. It is energy of Krishna. It is a manifestation. Swarup, it's manifestation of Krishna. Therefore it's respected like God on level of Krishna. Even when we were told by Prabhupada to spread Bhagavad Gita far and wide. Therefore in all Iskcon temples, many people go out daily, and today or yesterday also they went, our party, they went on the trains to spread Bhagavad Gita. And Prabhupada said, if they don't take a book, make them hold it. By holding it, they will get the seed, beginning of bhakti, by touching. And if possible, you make them read 1 sentence. That's it. The beginning of their purification starts. After that, Krishna will try to bring them and give them other chances. So, this mundane book looks like mundane. 18 chapters, 700 verses. How can you get liberated in 700 verses? It's not You cannot think of it, achintya, inconceivable. But it's possible because Gita is not a normal book as we see. To understand Gita, we have to come in the proper line, I said. So for example, this Gita is written, commentaries are written to how to understand the verses. So that has to be done. We have to understand properly through understanding the commentaries and going through a guru or someone who is in the proper line. We have to read Bhagavad-gita, make it a lifelong study. This is our duty. It's our duty. We are jivas. We are, Krishna says, his angsha. Mamaivangsha jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana. All the jivas are my parts who are meant to serve me. So how do we serve God? One way is by reading about Him. This is service. We are supposed to study Gita, meditate on it, always thinking about the teachings and things, and spread it. Krishna says in Gita, one who spreads this knowledge is very dear to me. He says in chapter 18. In this way, we'll purify not only us, but everyone who comes in contact. And Krishna says even in chapter 18 at the end to Arjun, that this was a conversation actually between Arjun and Krishna, whole Gita. So Krishna says, by studying this great conversation, just by studying it, one is worshipping me through intelligence. How do you worship God? Through the body? You take this Pancha Pradeep, this is worship, isn't it? Or I cook and I offer to God. That way I'm using my physical body to worship God. Or I clean the temple, clean the kitchen pot. This is a great worship, isn't it? But there's another worship. How to use intelligence to worship God? Krishna says, Adyeshyate chaya imam dharmyam samvadam avayoho jnana yagyena tenaham ishtasyam iti me matihi. I declare, he who studies this sacred conversation of ours worships me by his intelligence. Now we can use intelligence to worship God. Even now that you're hearing, this is a way of offering our intelligence to Krishna. Otherwise we'll use it how to enjoy, isn't it? We are doing that also. You can use it how I'll enjoy in this world, but you're using now how to understand about Krishna. So this is spiritual and this is greatly purifying. So let's worship Krishna through our intelligence. How? Read Bhagavad-gita, understand it, hear lectures, start to understand the philosophy in our mind, okay, and absorb the science of God. You have to plan your day. You're busy, you're studying, or whatever you're doing. You have to just plan your day. I'm sure a lot of us read a lot of things online and watch videos of many hours a day. So we just have to make time, 30 minutes, start reading Bhagavad-gita daily. If not, you can take a small book first to understand it. Maybe not initially Bhagavad-gita. Okay? And of course, step one is you have to have a Gita. Otherwise, how will you read it? Isn't it? You can take a Bhagavad-gita also. And we also actually here want to start weekly lectures. It will be online also. Okay? That will be on sometime in the week where you can tune in and we'll give information. Okay, Hare Krishna. 8 o'clock. Is there any question? Otherwise, can end it. Yes.
I have a question connected to Bhagavatam.
Okay.
That we understand the importance of Bhagavad-gita, how great it is.
Yes.
It is most important Upanishad slokas.
Yeah.
But then why is it so that Vyasadeva had compiled all the Vedic scriptures, including Bhagavad-gita also at that point when he was feeling unsatisfied, and then Narad Muni comes and tells him that this is because we didn't compile Bhagavatam. Is it Bhagavad-gita also Bhagavatam because it is speaking about our connection with
Yes.
God?
I heard from one speaker in Iskcon. He was also studied great scholar of Gita. He said that actually Bhagavad-gita is, you can say, song of God. Bhagavatam is science of God. These two are the same things. Bhagavatam is expanded much more. Bhagavad-gita, Arjun could understand, we cannot. We study Bhagavatam, which is nothing but Gita in a deeper way. But in order to enter Bhagavatam, we have to read Gita. It's the entrance to Bhagavatam. That 18.66 final conclusion of Gita, Sarva dharman parityaja mam ekam sharanavraja aham tam sarva papibhyo mokshaishyami ma shucha. That is a gate to Bhagavatam. So we cannot really understand Bhagavatam till we read Gita at least twice. Okay, but after reading Bhagavatam, if you read Gita again, you get a deeper benefit. But Gita will never give up. It is going to give that knowledge. And we read Bhagavatam also, but they're the same thing. It's the same. You'll find same content. It's not really different.
So, as I understand, it's like it gives us some preliminary understanding.
Preliminary, yeah.
Prepares us for Bhagavatam.
Correct.
And when we go through Bhagavatam, then we are able to understand Bhagavad-gita even more deeply.
Yeah, yeah. But Gita will always read to the end. Even Srila Prabhupada, such a scholar, such a Pandit, he'll sit and read Gita. And in the Bhagavatam, to comment on the verses, Prabhupada is quoting Gita verses many times. So it is higher level. So why Vyasadeva compiled Bhagavatam? Because, as I understand, many people wouldn't have the background to understand Gita immediately. So we read other books, but we still read Gita, and we have lectures daily in Iskcon to understand it. Yes, question.
My question is that there is a concept called Chinese whisper, and
Yeah.
it explains that.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
same for the disciple succession. I have the same question.
No, because they are checks and balances. For example, one guru will have different disciples. If one changes something, others will say, hey, what are you saying? This is not what he said, our guru. That is one. Also, there's a corroborative system. Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. They have to corroborate. If Sadhu is saying something, I heard from a Sadhu, he says that, but it's different from what my Guru is saying and Shastra, then there's a problem. Or if Shastra is saying something, but I took a Guru, he's saying different thing, then there's a problem. And other Sadhus are saying what Shastra is saying, but my Gurus. Three have to, they have to corroborate with each other. Sadhu, Guru, Shastra, Chitete Kare Aikya. There's a verse saying that. So it's that concept doesn't hold, because with every generation that knowledge has to go on, and it should be the same as what Gita is saying. It should. So that doesn't apply. And the meaning of Sampradaya, I say many times, when we say Sampradaya, we are coming in Brahma Gaudiya Sampradaya. If you break up that word, sang comes from word samyak. Samyak means complete in Sanskrit. Sangyak. And pradaya in Sanskrit means giving. Sampradaya means giving the complete knowledge to the next generation. The system of Sampradaya is the Guru has to pass on whatever his Gyan, Vigyan to that generation. That generation has to pass to next one. And that is done very properly. And then who is made a Guru in that generation who understood it properly? It should be like that. Yeah. Srimad Bhagavad-gita ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay, so we are going to have these weekly classes online. You can all join in verse by verse.